For nearly 10 years now, we have had mental health professionals, we have had doctors, we have had physical therapists, we have had all sorts of people with advanced medical degrees warning us for almost 10 years that there is something dangerously wrong with Donald Trump. And obviously, it was easy for a lot of people to ignore that in the early years, right? The guy was only 69 years old. He was doing just fine. He wasn't super agile, but aside from his temper tantrums every now and then, there was no reason to think that he was suffering cognitive decline all the way back in 2017 for most people. But the mental health professionals and other doctors, cardiologists, everybody was still sounding the alarm bells. In the last year, more and more doctors have joined in, and those alarm bells have gotten a lot louder. And at this point, we don't even need the doctors to be sounding the alarm bells because all of Donald Trump's mental problems are on full display, especially this week with his letter to the Norwegian Prime Minister. That seems to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Because now you have members of Congress calling for, 25th Amendment. You've got the public demanding it at this point. And even more doctors have come forward. But one of them has an even better idea. Dr. Jonathan Reiner, who happens to be the cardiologist who kept Dick Cheney alive well past his expiration date, so the guy's actually pretty good at what he does. Dr. Jonathan Reiner came out this week with a suggestion that I actually like almost a little bit better than invoking the 25th Amendment at this point. I like it better than the idea of impeachment because what Dr. Jonathan Reiner called for was a full-blown congressional investigation/hearing into Donald Trump's mental fitness. Here's what he put on social media. This letter, referring to the letter to the Prime Minister, and the fact that the president directed that it be distributed to other European countries should trigger a bipartisan congressional inquiry into presidential fitness. I love that idea. Again, I like this better than impeachment, and let me tell you why. Obviously, we're not going to get a bipartisan congressional inquiry. That's not going to happen. Republicans will never let it. But we have the opportunity coming up a little bit later in the year for Democrats to retake the House of Representatives, and they would be sworn in early January of the year 2027. At that point, they control the committees, they set the agenda, they can call for hearings and inquiries and investigations. So, the first order of business for Democrats, should they retake the House and they get sworn in early 2027, the first order of business is not impeachment. The first order of business is not investigations into Pam Bondi or any of these other people, Stephen Miller. The first order of business is to immediately call a congressional hearing, public, televised, about Donald Trump's mental health. Obviously, for HIPAA reasons, you're not going to get Donald Trump's own doctors there. Well, there's plenty of other doctors that you could call that would be willing to testify about what they can see, not diagnose, about Donald Trump. For example, all of the authors in the 2017 book, The Dangerous Case of Donald J. Trump. Dr. Jonathan Gartner, who has been exceptionally outspoken, and he, by the way, is a mental health professional. I'm sure he'd be willing to testify. Hell, maybe even Dr. Jonathan Reiner here would be willing to come in and talk about how horrible Donald Trump's mental state is. That would be the best congressional hearing we've ever had. Ever. Really. Because what would happen is these mental health professionals would say on the record what they think could be wrong with Donald Trump. Democrats, of course, would agree with it, but the Republicans would be sitting there trying to defend it. The Democrats would print out all these big, giant, stupid, crazy things Trump has said on social media. They could print out the letter he sent to the Prime Minister and force Republicans on the record to defend the insanity while the doctors are sitting there telling them this isn't normal. Why are you covering it up? Why are you making excuses for it? I would love to see that. That would be must-see TV. The public would get to hear it. Republicans would have to defend it. And Trump would be sitting there, rage posting on social media throughout the entire thing. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.